Hello, this will be a project over franchises, which is a type of business ownership. We've talked about earning money, and some people like to work for others, and some people like to work on their own. Some people want to work on their own, but they aren't sure how to run a business. So a franchise allows you to open a business that's already developed, but you run your individual store. So on the assignment sheet that I give you, there is a website, and the website is this one right here. So we're going to look over the website so that you know how to use it when it comes time to do your research. So if we take a look at this, this is a franchise that has the top 100 franchises. If you take a look over here, McDonald's, KFC, Marriott, which is hotels, Pizza King, Burger King, you could all own one of these stores. There is a main company that owns them, and you pay that company. So you could open a store with their name on it. It has a success history because they know what they're doing. You get to run it on your own, and everybody is fairly happy. So what you're going to do when you come to this assignment is you're going to click Get the Full Listing. And when you do that, you see a lot of the industries. The franchises are restaurants, convenience stores, hotels. Now that is the first 20. And it kind of tells you over in the right side what type of store it is. So if, for instance, Baskin Robbins, it's in the United States, it has an ice cream franchise. If we go to the next 21 to 40, you can see that again, they have quite a few types of stores available. And even Arby's is on here as well. And if we go to the next 41 to 60, this is how you're going to navigate this site. You can see that you have a lot of different options, and you can decide which one is among your favorites. I'm just going to take a quick look through all 100 because I've broken them down into groups of 25 for your assignment. And here, 81 to 100, I want to make sure everybody has a good group to work with. So, if your name starts out with A to E, you're in the first 25. F to M, you're in the second group of 25. So they're numbered to the side. You can look at those. If you take a look at the name N to S, I think, is the third 25, or 51 to 75. And then those with the last name that begins with T to Z, you're going to look at 76 to 100. So what I want to do is get back to the first group, and I want to show you how to look through one of these franchises. Some franchises aren't as expensive as others to own. For instance, if we take a look at, which one did I look at? Let's just take a look at what does it cost to own a Domino's, for instance. That's a pizza franchise. So we'll click on Domino's, and you can read through their profile of information. It tells you when it began, when they started franchising. From 63 to 66, they just had individual stores owned by the corporation. At that point, they realized they could make money by selling the rights for other people to use their product name. So at that point, they started charging people and saying, this is how you have to run your store, and you have to buy your supplies from us, basically. So they still make money on all the stores. They're headquartered in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which tells me it would have started in Ann Arbor. The number of stores that are currently open in the United States, the number of Domino's stores, there's 17,020. And if you take a look at the franchise description, it says that it's only giving single store franchises to applicants. And you have to have a manager or supervisor who has been trained at the store at all times. So it tells you where they are normally located in shopping centers, strip centers. That's a strip mall. And a strip mall in Kokomo would be like where Walmart is, and then you have Joann's Fabrics, and you have all those stores. That's called a strip center. They talk about you have to have appropriate parking for delivery vehicles and customers. Okay, so now they also tell you they have non-traditional stores, which means unusual places. Like maybe you have a setup at the Colts Stadium, or you have a setup at some unusual tourist item, or maybe you have a setup at an airport. Those are called non-traditional. So if we take a look at this, there are some other pizza places that you can take over. It says training and overview. The owner must complete the training required to operate the store. And you must have some management in your background. They talk about it. I'm going to ask questions about what are the training requirements. What about the territory granted? Okay, it says franchisees may operate the store only at the location approved. Okay, and it says you do not receive exclusive territory, so they could sell another Domino's right there in that same area. Okay, come on. Obligations and restrictions. It must always be under on-premises supervision. So if the owner is trained, they also have to have somebody else. It says the length of the franchise is 10 years. If you do a good job, then they'll renew it for 10 years. So if you take a look, here are your financial investments that you must have. The initial fee, and I'm going to ask you about low and high. If you have a small store, you don't have to have any initial fee. If you start with the high end, or you open like 2 or 3 stores, you have to pay $10,000. Leasehold improvements, it says that you should plan to spend $5,000 on a small store or up to $225,000 on a high end. Furniture, fixtures, and equipment, they will require you to buy their ovens. Have you ever noticed how Subway has the same microwave, all the same equipment? It's because you buy it from them. Everybody looks the same. So if you have a small store, you're going to be paying about $62,000. If you have a high-end store, about $145,000 for the equipment. Signage is that sign out front so people see your name. For a small store, it's about $5,200. For a large store, it's going to be about $35,000. When you pay 3 months of rent, they're saying that you will owe, for a small store, about $3,000. For a large store, in a more popular place, $25,000 for 3 months. Your security deposit is between $1,000 and $10,000. Your opening inventory that you typically buy from them, that's about $2,700 to $6,500. So you would have to buy the food items, the pizza crust, all those things. Most of it comes from what's called their commissary. Occasionally you'll buy lettuce or something locally, lettuce, tomatoes, that type of thing locally. But typically if it's a canned good, it comes from their commissary, so the headquarters makes a little more money. If you're going to advertise your initial opening, if you have a small store, maybe you just open, but a larger store, they expect you to spend about $3,000 on advertising. Training expenses to be trained is between $1,000 and $3,000. Your insurance on your store will be between $9,000 and $40,000. Now that's for a year. Miscellaneous opening costs, $2,500 to $7,000. That's giving away balloons, maybe a drink, this, that, and the other. They want you to have between $10,000 and $73,000 for the next 3 months to keep the business going until you start making money. So your total investment for a small store would be about $101,000, and for a large store or a high end, about $582,000. Now, if you take a look down here a little bit further, there are other fees that you need to pay. The royalty fee, you pay about 5.5% of the sales to the headquarters every week. The advertising fund, you pay 4% of your store's sales every week. Your advertising cooperatives, 1 to 4%. Your license fee is $4,200. If we're looking down there at the software enhancement, it's about $611 per store. So if you open 2 stores, that would be over $1,200. And that's to keep you connected with them and ordering the website, all that good stuff. If you have to call and ask for help, they're going to charge you $44 per call. When you use their internet to send in your financials, it's $1,200 per year. So you can see, if you start a franchise, you make a lot of money. That's where the money is. If you can come up with a good idea and start a franchise and have people pay you for it, look at the money you make just on their fees, and then you collect some of their income, and they are constantly buying product from you. Your monthly service fee is $30. Technology fee is 26 cents per digital order. So when a customer orders online, they charge that store 26 cents. Every time somebody uses a credit card, they get almost 5 cents per transaction. If you have a Spanish language call, then it's $3 per call. So you can see food safety audits. They're going to come in and take a look at, are you handling things safely? That's $179. And so you can see that you have a lot of different expenses as you look through here. Now, they have a lot of expenses, and I went to a different store earlier and they didn't have this many expenses. So you have to decide what industry would you like to be in first of all. I don't think I'd want to be in the food industry because they tell you your hours. I mean, they may tell you have to stay open till 10 or 11 o'clock every night, whether you're busy or not. You'll notice that the stores stay open. So if we go through here, let's just take a real quick look at McDonald's. If you choose McDonald's, they talk about, and all of them will have the, come on, it's not loading. Here we go. All of them will have the information here. It will, I don't want a Sonic, I must have touched that. Sorry about that, guys. So they have a lot of other options here of restaurants that you can go to. So here are their facts. Oh my goodness. Let's go to KFC then. Okay, so it started in 1939, but you can see they didn't start franchising until 1952. So they were a local restaurant for a long time, and they are headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky, where Kentucky Fried Chicken started. So they have all their information, obligations, territory granted. But if we come down here, you can see that it doesn't matter if you have a high end or low end, the deposit's the same. And the training fees are in there. Permits run from $50,000 to $100,000. Look at the property. By opening a store, the building, whether you rent it or buy it, build it, whatever, it's going to be between $400,000 and $1,100,000. Your building site costs. So if you come down here to the end, your equipment, your signage, all that they put together, it's about $1,442,000 for a small store and closing in on $3 million for a larger store. So here are their requirements, their types of fees that they're going to charge you. So you can see that while some stores are very busy and make a lot of money, you can't afford these fees. You have to make sure you locate in a good place. So this is what you're going to do, and I am going to go ahead and attach your assignment.